Hello again. I will not pretend to be surprised when I see government ministers in either Britain or anywhere else in the world, come to that, lying their heads off. But Robert Jenrick, since 2019 the Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government in Boris Johnson's administration, really is shameless, and he peddles his lies in the pages of the Sunday newspaper, where anybody can see them. This smug, complacent and dishonest man may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. In yesterday's Sunday Telegraph, Jenrick, who looks like an untrustworthy estate agent, explained why we should welcome, the good Lord alone knows, how many Afghan refugees into the country. After all, as the piece here is headed, welcoming Afghan refugees is a national project. Come. Will you really abandon your post and refuse to be part of a national project? Here it is. Let me go through this and explain how Robert Jenrick tells an unmistakable lie. He starts off with some usual waffle, salute the armed forces, bravery and courage exhibited, etc, the Afghan resettlement and assistance programme. We've embarked on a big national project to welcome, resettle and finally integrate these families. It is one that requires both urgency, as the largest emergency arrival of people in recent decades. Right. The largest emergency arrival of people in recent decades. That is a deliberate lie. Like everybody else in Britain, Jenrick knows that over 20,000 people have arrived on the shores of England so far this year after crossing the English Channel illegally, needing emergency accommodation. That is far more than the number of Afghan refugees who have so far landed in the country. That is an emergency arrival of people far greater than the Afghan business, and Robert Jenrick knows when he claims that the arrival of the Afghans was the largest emergency arrival of people that he was not telling the truth. Then he goes on to say, and you'll enjoy this, finding good quality homes at speed is no mean feat. We are working with councils, housing associations and landlords. In particular, we need 3 and 4 bedroom properties for larger families. Despite record investments in new affordable homes, etc. Anybody wishing, charities, private landlords have come forward to offer properties. Anyone wishing to do so should contact either their local council or the government via our online portal for housing offers. Finding good quality homes at speed. I take it that means that the Afghan refugees are going to be given houses quickly. I can't see any other construction that I could put on those words of his. Okay, here's a simple question. Are there no English families already in this country who require such houses? Isn't finding good quality homes for them at speed something that we might consider? Don't any of them need 3 or 4 bedroomed homes? I wonder if anyone knows what the current waiting time for those applying to local councils is for a 4-bedroomed property, which Robert Jenrick, the Housing Secretary, specifically mentions here. Well, looking at London, where, and let's be honest, most of these people will eventually fetch up there, the waiting list for a 4-bedroom house, if you are at the moment on the council waiting list in the London Borough of Hackney, is between 9 and 28 years. Yes, you did hear that right. To get a council house in Hackney, if you're already on the waiting list, will take you at least 9 and perhaps as long as 28 years for a 4-bedroomed house. I give a link above to this figure and to the others I'm about to give. In Redbridge, the average waiting time for a 4-bedroom house is 19 years and 5 months. Some of these councils, Tower Hamlets for instance, have over 30,000 people on the waiting list for a house. Why is the Housing Secretary suddenly appearing in the national press for 3 and 4-bedroomed houses for Afghan refugees? He's never bothered to do so for the 36,000 people on Tower Hamlets waiting list for council houses. Don't the people already living in the country count as much? Has he only just noticed that there's a shortage of large council houses? And what's this about finding good quality homes at speed? It's not happening already, is it? If you have to wait up to 28 years in Hackney for a 4-bedroom property, or an average of 19 and a half years in Redbridge, that's not really happening at speed. Am I alone in noticing that, or perhaps I'm being a little uncharitable? If you want to laugh here, Jenrick ends the article by saying, "We want to ensure long-term integration." Among other things, this will mean care to place families in all parts of the UK. Again, that's a lie, they'll all drift to the southeast, mainly London. And increased attention to English language training and an introduction to British cultural and civic life. I have no idea at all if this is meant humorously or not, or if Robert Jenrick, unlike every other person in the country, is unaware that among those refugees will be those who despise Britain and seek to harm the country. Even for a government which has shown itself to be very dishonest and crooked, this piece by Jenrick is in a class of its own.